The digestive system. The digestive system is made up of gastrointestinal tract or the GI tract or digestive tract. The gastrointestinal tract is an hollow organ joined in a long twisting tube from the mouth to the anus. The hollow organs that make up the GI tract are the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and the anus. The liver, pancreas, and gallbladder are the solid organs of the digestive system. Digestive system anatomy. Food begins its journey through the digestive system in the mouth, also known as the oral cavity. So, ang digestive system nagtitikang mouth, kay mouth nagtitikang ang food nga aton gintitake. Inside the mouth, there are many accessory organs that aid in the digestion of food: the tongue, teeth, and salivary glands. So, ang mouth may datutulong nga accessory organs nga nagbubulig para ma-digest ang food. Teeth chop food into smaller pieces which are moistened by saliva before the tongue and other muscles push the food into the pharynx. So first is teeth. The teeth are 32 small hard organs found along the anterior and lateral edges of the mouth. Each tooth is made up of bone-like substance called dentin and covered in a layer of enamel. The hardest substance in the body. Teeth are living organs and contain blood vessels and nerves under the dentin in a soft region known as the pulp. The teeth are designed for cutting and grinding food into smaller pieces. So, ang function ng teeth, amoya ang nagkakat and nag-grind hand food into smaller pieces. Why? Kasi syempre, kung dako it food, di rin natin matutulon. So, that's why, ang function ng teeth, amoya nagkakat nga nag-grind hand food into smaller pieces. And then, tongue. The tongue is located in the inferior portion of the mouth, just posterior and medial to the teeth. It is a small organ made up of several pairs of muscles covered a thin, bumpy, skin-like layer. The outside of the tongue contains many rough papillae for gripping food as it is moved by the tongue's muscle. The taste buds of the surface of the tongue detect taste molecules in food and connect to nerves in the tongue to send taste information to the brain. The tongue also helps to push food toward the posterior part of the mouth for swallowing. So, ang tongue amo ang nagde-detect han taste han usang food. For example, the lower layer of our tongue is the sweet part of our tongue. So, kung for example, kumaon kahin ice cream, and then kung iglik mo ang ice cream, and then an aton taste information nakadto ha brain. Amo nagdedictate ha aton brain na amo to sweet and ice cream. And then third is the salivary glands. Surrounding the mouth are 3 sets of salivary glands. The salivary glands are accessory organs that produce a watery secretion known as saliva. Saliva helps to moisten food and begins the digestion of carbohydrates. The body also uses saliva to lubricate food as it passes through the mouth, pharynx, and esophagus. So, ang salivary glands, amo yan nagme-melt or nagmo-moisten ang food para ang food ma-dissolve or makatuha aton esophagus or pharynx amo na ito. And then, pagkatapos anton, salivary glands, ang iya function, for example, di ba, makaon kahin tinapay. So, ang saliva, amo nagmamoisten ang food. So, for example, kung matiga ang tinapay na imuging kakaon, ang saliva, amo yan nagmoisten or nagsasoft ang food para makatuya pharynx and esophagus. So, here it is. Second one is the pharynx. The pharynx or throat is a funnel-shaped tube connected to the posterior end of the mouth. The pharynx is responsible for the passing of masses and chewed food from the mouth to the esophagus. The pharynx also plays an important role in the respiratory system, as air from the nasal cavity passes through the pharynx, on its way to the larynx and eventually the lungs. Because the pharynx serves two different functions. It contains a flat of tissue, known as epiglottis, that acts as a speech-to-root food to the esophagus and air to the larynx. So, ang pharynx may dahiya two different function. Amo na ito hiya ang siyahan nga nagko-contain hiyan flat tissue nga nagsaswitch han root han food. Nganhen ang esophagus nga naghatag hin air ngadto ha larynx. So, asya ito ang pharynx. And then, the esophagus. The esophagus is a muscular tube connecting the pharynx to the stomach that is part of the upper gastrointestinal tract. It carries swallowed masses of chewed food along its length. At the inferior end of the esophagus is a muscular ring called the lower esophageal sphincter, or cardiac sphincter. The function of this sphincter is to close the end of the esophagus and trap food in the stomach. So, amo na ito ang esophagus, adayat upper gastrointestinal tract, nga nagkikarry in swallowed masses of chewed food along its length. So, ang ating esophagus is from here down to the stomach. And then, the stomach. The stomach is a muscular sac that is located on the left side of the abdominal cavity, just inferior to the diaphragm. In an average person, the stomach is about the size of their two fists placed to each other. The major organ acts as a storage for tank so that the body has time to digest large meals properly. The stomach also contains hydrochloric acid and digestive enzymes that continue the digestion of food that began in the mouth. So, ang stomach, amo hiyaan, kumbaga haaton, amo hiyahan an pundasyon or amo hiyaan an tank han food or storage para ang food nga aton gintitik magkamay ada hin place ha stomach. And then, next is the small intestine. The small intestine is a long thin tube about 1 inch in diameter and about 10 feet long that is part of the lower gastrointestinal tract. So, an upper gastrointestinal tract is ang stomach. So, an lower gastrointestinal tract is the small intestine. It is located just inferior to the stomach and takes up most of the space in the abdominal cavity. The entire small intestine is coiled like a hose and the inside surface full of many ridges and folds. These folds are used to maximize the digestion of food and absorption of nutrients. By the time food leaves the small intestine, around 90% of all nutrients have been extracted from the food that entered it. So, ang small intestine, diba, duhaton hera, small intestine and the large intestine. Ang small intestine, amo hiya ang nagkikarry han nutrients nga tikadtuha aton body. While ang large intestine, amo nagkikarry han waste nga igagawas naton. So, ang small intestine, amo hiya nagkikarry nutrients nga magahatag. So, next is the liver or the gallbladder. And gallbladder. In the liver, it is a roughly triangular accessory organ of the digestive system located to the right of the stomach, just inferior to the diaphragm. The superior to the small intestine. The liver weighs about 3 pounds and is the second largest organ in the body. The liver has many different functions in the body, but the main function of liver in digestion is the production of bile and its secretion into the small intestine. The gallbladder is a small pear-shaped organ located just posterior to the liver. The gallbladder is used to store and recycle excess bile from the small intestine so that it can be reused for the digestion of subsequent meals. So, ang gallbladder, amo yan nasa-store and recycle excess bile tikang ha small intestine para magamit ya otro pag-digest in food. And then, next is the large intestine. The large intestine is a long, thick tube about 2.5 inches in diameter and about 5 feet long. It is located just inferior to the stomach and wraps around the superior and lateral border of the small intestine. The large intestine absorbs water and contains many symbiotic bacteria that aid in breaking down of waste to extract small amounts of nutrients. Feces in the large intestine exit the body through the anal canal. So, amo na yung naginyakan kanina, nga diba, ang small intestine, amo ang naghahatag yung nutrients sa body. While ang large intestine, amo hiya ang naggagawa sin waste through aton anal canal or magagawa siya aton anus. Asya hiya large kay amo hiya ang storage han aton wastes. While ang small intestine, asya hiya small kay nutrients ang iya carry. And then we're done on the digestive system anatomy. So next, we are going to the digestive system physiology. The digestive system is responsible for taking whole foods and turning them into energy and nutrients to allow the body to function, grow, and repair itself. The 6 primary processes of the digestion system includes: first, ingestion of food; second, secretion of fluids and digestive enzymes; third, mixing and movement of food and wastes through the body; fourth, digestion of food into smaller pieces; fifth, absorption of nutrients; and then sixth is the excretion of wastes. First is indigestion. The first function of the digestive system is ingestion, or the intake of food. The mouth is responsible for this function, as it is the orifice through which all food enters the body. The mouth and stomach are responsible for the storage of food, as it is waiting to be digested. This storage capacity allows the body to eat only a few times each day, and to digest or ingest more food than it can process at one time. So, ingestion of food is nagtitikang nga ni mouth. So, amo na ito nakinyakan kanina nga, ang mouth, amo it most important ha digestive system, kay amo nagtitikang nga daan pag take in food. And then, the second one is secretion. In the course of a day, the digestive system secretes around 7 liters of fluids. These fluids include saliva, mucus, hydrochloric acid, enzymes, and bile. Saliva moistens dry food and contains salivary amylase, a digestive enzyme that begins the digestion of carbohydrates. Mucus serves as a protective barrier of lubricant inside the gastrointestinal tract. Hydrochloric acid helps to digest food chemically and protects the body by killing bacteria present in our food. Enzymes are like tiny biochemical machines that disassemble large macromolecules like proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids into their smaller components. Finally, bile is used to emulsify large masses of lipids into tiny globules for easy digestion. And then the third one is mixing and movement. The digestive system has 3 main processes to move and mix food. First is swallowing. Swallowing is the process of using smooth and skeletal muscles in the mouth, tongue, and pharynx to push food out of the mouth through the pharynx and into the esophagus. Second one is peristalsis. Peristalsis is a muscular wave that travels the length of the gastrointestinal tract, moving partially digested food a short distance down the tract. Moving partially digested food a short distance down the tract. It takes many waves of peristalsis for food to travel from the esophagus through the stomach and intestines, and reach at the end of the gastrointestinal tract. The third one is segmentation. Segmentation occurs only in the small intestine. A short segment intestine contract like hands squeezing a toothpaste tube. Segmentation helps to increase the absorption of nutrients by mixing food and increasing its contact with the walls of the intestine. So, among to, ang digestive system may tutulong process and move and mix food. First is swallowing, second is peristalsis, and third is the segmentation. The fourth physiology of the digestive system is the digestion. Digestion is the process of turning large pieces of food into its component chemicals. Mechanical digestion is the physical breakdown of large pieces of food into smaller pieces. This mode of digestion begins with the chewing of food by the teeth and is continued through the muscular mixing of food by the stomach and intestine. So, amo na ito niya ang digestion, ang pagkuanahan aton food nga nagtitikang mouth. And then the fifth is absorption. Once the food is reduced to its building blocks, it is ready for the body to absorb. Absorption begins in the stomach with simple molecules like water and alcohol being absorbed directly to the bloodstream. Most absorption takes place in the walls of the small intestine, which are densely folded to maximize the surface area in contact with digested food. Small blood and lymphatic vessels in the small intestine wall pick up the molecules and carry them to the rest of the body. The large intestine is also involved in the absorption of water, the vitamins B and K before feces leave the body. And the last one is excretion. The final function of the digestive system is the excretion of waste in a process known as defecation. Defecation removes ingestible substances from the body so that they do not accumulate inside the gut. The timing of defecation is controlled voluntarily by the conscious part of the brain, but must be accomplished on a regular basis to prevent backup and indigestible materials. So there it is, the 6 physiology of the digestive system. First is ingestion of food. Second is secretion of fluids and digestive enzymes. Third is mixing and movement of food and waste through the body. Fourth is digestion of food into smaller pieces. Fifth is absorption of nutrients, and then sixth is the excretion of waste. So the summary of this, ipapakita ko ha iyo ang summary. So nagkuha ko hin GIF han digestive system. So first, an aton food nga gintitake is natikang ha aton mouth. So magkaon nga ni kita to the mouth, makada ha pharynx. Kahuman na pharynx, makadiya esophagus. Pagkadaha esophagus, makadahiya ha stomach. Kahuman na stomach, makadahiya small intestine. Tapos, in small intestine, magsasend in message ngadto ha liver. Kahuman ha liver liwat, an aton food nga gintitake, makadina ha large intestine. So, antikang lang ha small intestine nga nakukuha naton is makadto ha liver, and then an nga dito ha liver mahimo ya nga waste kay aday ya ha large intestine. So makadto na ya anus, and then bibigam na hiyahin waste. So that's it.